Well, the Supreme Court is hearing the plea of suspended BJP leader Nupur Sharma seeking a transfer of all FIRs that have been registered against her in various states for her alleged remarks on profit to Delhi for an investigation. Now we are now getting more details of the Supreme Court, how it's viewing this. The Supreme Court appears to have taken a very stern view of this. I'm quoting what we are learning from our sources. In fact, let's go across to Sambhav to understand what the Supreme Court's observation has been. Sambhav, tell us more.
So Supreme Court is hearing the plea of ex-spokesperson of BJP, Nupur Sharma. And she requested.
All right, I'm going to come back to you, Sambhav, in just a bit. I think we've got our political editor, Aishwarya Kapoor, also with us. Aishwarya, tell us more of what's happening.
Well, at this point of time, we can just the Supreme Court has come down heavily on Nupur Sharma and says that the entire country virtually was brought to a brink because of the kind of statement which was made by her. So it's a very, very strong statement coming in from the apex court. And as far as referring to her apology and then the withdrawal of comments on her comments are concerned, the bench said that it was too late in the day to withdraw. And as she says on her complaint, a person is arrested, but despite multiple FIRs, she has not yet been touched by the Delhi police. SC also says that these kind of people are not religious, as all religious people respect every religion. So it's a very, very strong statement being made by the apex court on Nupur Sharma. We are being told that the senior advocate Maninder Singh basically was trying to establish her bona fide by saying that the apology was tendered immediately. But the Supreme Court once again came down heavily and said that the people have an agenda and that the people have a nefarious design to gain cheap publicity. So very, very strong comments being made by the apex court on Nupur Sharma, and it is giving a sense because we are also being told that the SP says that her statement is singularly responsible for igniting. And now that she has seek to come to the Supreme Court to seek relief, she faces threat or she has given threat to the nation. So very, very strong statements being made in the apex court as we speak.
Now, Aishwarya, Aishwarya, it appears to be an extremely adverse comment that's come in from the Supreme Court. We are also learning that the Supreme Court has also questioned why this is being talked of in a TV. It's also singled out the television channel.
Well, absolutely. And at this point of time, once again, I am just repeating that it is coming very, very serious comments being made because once again, if you see that the SC is terming her as a complete loose tongue and she makes all the irresponsible statements and claims to be a lawyer of 10 years standing, she should be apologizing to the whole country. So these are very strong statements. Nupur, these are very strong statements which are being made on Nupur Sharma by the apex court. And the apex court bench asked Sharma to move to the concerned trial court and to seek bail in each FIR. The apex court is coming down heavily and saying that these kind of statements cannot be accepted.
Right, absolutely. So the Supreme Court over there taking a very adverse view of those comments, also going on to say that she should have apologized to the nation. Aishwarya Kapoor continues to be with us. Aishwarya, what we are hearing and what we are picking up from what's happening in the court, it seems that this was essentially Nupur Sharma appearing before the court asking for all FIRs to be transferred to Delhi. All right, we seem to have lost that audio connection, but we're going to try and get Aishwarya Kapoor, a political editor, back on the phone line. Okay, I think I've got Sambhav on the phone line right now. Sambhav, those are adverse comments that have come in from the Supreme Court. Nupur Sharma had actually gone to court asking for all these cases to be transferred to Delhi. Instead, the Supreme Court has taken a very stringent and adverse view on this. All right, so the Supreme Court, that's what the Supreme Court has said so far. We understand that the court has come down heavily on Nupur Sharma, saying that the withdrawal of remarks was made too late. She should have instead apologized on television. Now, do remember that Nupur Sharma, the suspended BJP leader, had actually gone to the Supreme Court seeking relief, and she had asked for these FIRs to be transferred. Rhythm Anand Bhardwaj, our legal editor, now on the phone with me. Rhythm, those are very adverse comments that have been made by the Supreme Court in this. Tell us more.
Yes, Nupur, Justice Suryakant's bench has made these comments when they say, what is the business of the TV channel to discuss a matter in which it is sub judice except to promote an agenda? They've come down very strongly on the comments that were made by Nupur Sharma, saying that they were disturbing, and said, what is her business to make these remarks? Her advocate, senior advocate Maninder Singh, who appeared for her, said she's apologized for the remarks and withdrew the comments. But the bench said she should have gone to the TV and apologized to the nation. She was too late to withdraw, and she withdraws conditionally, saying its sentiments are hurt. The Supreme Court adds these are not relief people at all. They make statements to provoke. And they've also said on her petition, this petition smacks of her arrogance that the magistrates of the country are too small for her. They've also said if you're a spokesperson of a party, it is not a license to say things like this, where her lawyer says if there was provocation from the other debater, to which the Supreme Court says if there is misuse of the debate, the first thing she should have done is to file an FIR against the anchor. Very important words from the Supreme Court, where Maninder Singh then says, kindly see before anchor, the debater on the other side makes statements. So basically, defending her, he says this. He also refers to cases where he says relief of clubbing FIRs was granted. The Supreme Court says the way she's ignited emotions across the country, she's single-handedly responsible for what's happening in the country. Very big words coming in from the Supreme Court. This is roughly 4 minutes ago when Justice Khan said that you have to go, you have the remedy before High Court, go and approach the High Court if there is a second FIR. Nupur Sharma had moved the Supreme Court asking for relief because of the pending FIRs against her. But very, very clearly, the hearing is going on as we are speaking. And let me tell you, the Supreme Court has clearly spoken about her arrogant stand. If she's the spokesperson of the party, she'll get the right to say anything. And when Nupur's lawyer spoke, she answered the question of the anchor. The court said in such a case, the anchor should also be prosecuted. So Nupur's very strong words coming in from the Supreme Court that is trying to say that these kind of comments should not be made in India, and also saying that the anchor of the channel also needs to be prosecuted again.
Oh, yes, absolutely, Rhythm. So what we also understand is that the court went on to say that she was too late to withdraw, and that withdrawal was conditional, saying that if sentiments are hurt, then I withdraw my comments. So how do you see this going forward, Rhythm? Now, what we understand is that the bench also said that she should have gone back on TV and apologized to the country.
Absolutely. And they've also said here that if there was an anchor of a show on Nupur who made such comments, then the anchor should also be prosecuted against, because this is the argument put forward by Maninder Singh, the senior advocate appearing for her, who said that even though she apologized, there was provocation from the other side, to which the Supreme Court said if there is a misuse of the debate, the first thing she should have done was to file an FIR against the anchor, to which Maninder Singh said there was provocation from the other debater, this is very crucial, that these words are coming in from them, and only saying kindly see before anchor, the debater on the other side makes statements. Within the same statements, there is a serious debate on this issue, trying to defend her action, but SC says that anchor should also be prosecuted against.
Right now, what we also understand is that the Supreme Court says that the television channel as well as the anchor should have been more careful, and this outburst was actually responsible for what we see.
Absolutely. Different issue. All right. So, sorry, I'm just reading what's been happening in the Supreme Court, and I'm just looking at the hearing. Now what happens is lawyers are trying to refer to cases saying that We don't want to go to the High Court. We want some sort of relief from the Supreme Court, from the second FIRs that are filed. But the law in the country is very clear. The country is, if there are FIRs filed against you and you want some relief, go to the High Court, go to the Magistrate Court. But they don't like the arrogance with which she's actually moved the Supreme Court without going to the lower court. So I just want to first quickly go across to the observations coming in from the Supreme Court, and these observations become pertinent, Nupur, because you also pointed out what the Supreme Court is saying is, if there are such words that are spoken and there is a misuse of the debate, the first thing she should have done was to file an FIR against the anchor, because her lawyer said there was provocation from the other side. They've also referred to our orders. They said the way she's ignited emotions across the country, this lady single-handedly responsible for what is happening in the country.
Now,
A very strong word. We are still waiting for an order from the Supreme Court. We have to see what the Supreme Court is going to say.
right, Rhythm, do you think that the court?
Yes.
Do you think that the court is taking a more holistic view of this? Because, it is in the sense bringing to fore what actually happened and how Nupur Sharma made those comments.
Yes. So I also want to tell our viewers that the Supreme Court is absolutely taking a holistic view, and everyone cannot move to the Supreme Court for everything, Nupur, which is what the Supreme Court is trying to do. There are remedies that are available at the lower level, and the Supreme Court is not happy that she's come straight to them. They said this is arrogant. She should have actually first gone to the lower courts to try and see whether she gets relief. And at the same time, they've attacked what she has done with those one statement. And they have said she's ignited emotions. She's single-handedly responsible for what's happened. Very, very strong words. And I also think the way that the Supreme Court said that action economic dictator, anchor on the other side is very crucial, because somewhere we also need to understand that it's also the anchor, the channel that has to be held responsible for the kind of statements that have been made.
All right, Rhythm Anand Bhardwaj continues to be with us. We are, of course, bringing to you the latest of what the Supreme Court has said on this. Rhythm, what we understand is that the Supreme Court has said, and I'm reading what it has said, it says, what is the business of the TV channel and Nupur Sharma to discuss the matter which is sub judice except to promote an agenda? Now, Rhythm, explain to that, to our viewers, what the court essentially is saying over here. These are comments that were made by the Supreme Court as it takes a very strong view of what's happened.
Oh yes, the Supreme Court has taken a very strong view. They've come down heavily on her and her loose tongue and said the entire country is on fire. Her outburst is responsible for the unfortunate incident at Udaipur. They're referring to her apology and withdrawal the comment. Says it's too late in the day to withdraw. Supreme Court says on her complaint a person is arrested, but despite multiple FIRs, she's not yet been touched by Delhi police. They castigate her for her obstinacy and arrogance and said because she's spokesperson of a party, power has gone to her head. Supreme Court says these kind of people are not religious at all. Religious people respect every religion. Senior advocate tried to establish a bona fide by saying apology was tendered immediately, but the Supreme Court says these kinds of people have an agenda and a nefarious aim to gain cheap publicity. When Sharma pleaded for investigation of the FIR lodged by Delhi police and said she's joined investigation, they asked what has happened in the investigation so far. There must have been a red carpet for you there. Supreme Court refuses to entertain the petition and Sharma withdraws the petition. All right, the latest bit of breaking news coming in from the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court refuses to entertain her plea, and Nupur Sharma has now withdrawn her petition from the top court, which means she will try and get liberty to go to the High Court, as the Supreme Court has said she should do. They were hearing these remarks that were made by her, and finally the Supreme Court has now stated she has now withdrawn her petition.
Right, so she's withdrawn her petition, Rhythm, but what we understand is when her lawyer said that she had answered the question of the anchor, the court said that in such a case, the anchor should also be prosecuted. So do you think that, the Supreme Court is taking a large and a holistic view of what happened, also then going on to say that she was too late in essentially the apology?
Yes, absolutely. That is the whole contention. Nupur Sharma moved to Supreme Court. She said that she wanted the clubbing of the multiple FIRs registered over her remarks on a TV channel, but the Supreme Court refused to entertain it. She has withdrawn this petition. The Supreme Court has come down very, very strongly on the kind of language that was used by her. And once again, viewers just joining in, Nupur, we'll just give background of what the Supreme Court today said, because very rarely does the Supreme Court speak in this language unless they're extremely anguished. And being anguished, they said that her comments were disturbing. She must apologize to the country for the same. She has a threat against her, or has she become a security threat, is something that the court asked. They were hearing her plea. They said the petition shows her arrogance because she's saying transfer the FIRs registered against her in many states to Delhi for investigation. Justice Suryakant says sometimes power goes to the head. People think I have backup and say anything. Justice Pardewala says the statements by Nupur Sharma are responsible for the unfortunate killing in Udaipur. They say the fact remains there is only one incident. There are no multiple incidents. I am only asking the investigation should be done in one place, is what Maninder Singh says. But Justice Khan says she's made statements without thinking of the ramifications and how it will affect the fabric of the society. Finally, the order comes from the Supreme Court, which refuses to entertain the plea. The court has permitted the senior counsel to withdraw the plea to pursue an alternate remedy in a different court. So very, very strong words, because the first thing, let me tell our viewers, the first observation coming in from the Supreme Court is they reproach her for being a loose tongue who is single-handedly responsible for igniting the country. The second very crucial observation, she's made statements without thinking about the fabric of the country. When they spoke about an anchor, the Supreme Court said, well, if there was a misuse of the debate, the first thing she should have done was to file an FIR against the anchor. This is to what Maninder Singh, appearing for Nupur Sharma, said was happening in the debate, and saying that there was provocation from the other side. Maninder Singh saying, kindly see before anchor, the debater on the other side made statements. But the Supreme Court saying that that is so, then the action needs to be taken, prosecution needs to be done of the anchor, she herself to be filing an FIR against them. So very crucial details. And finally, the Supreme Court also reproaches her for the loose tongue, like I stated, and Supreme Court says she made statements without thinking about the fabric of the country.
Absolutely, Rhythm. Anand Bhardwaj continues to be with us just to bring our viewers up to speed with what has happened. The Supreme Court has refused to entertain Nupur Sharma's plea to club the multiple FIRs registered over her remarks on Prophet Muhammad in a television channel debate. Now, the petition has been dismissed as withdrawn with liberty to pursue alternative remedies. Now, the Supreme Court also has been very stringent in its observations, going on to say that perhaps the anchor of the show should also be prosecuted, also questioning the television channel, saying, why did they talk about something that was sub judice? Now, I want to go back to Rhythm on this one. Rhythm, the court very, very clear in that, saying, why did you have to take up something that was sub judice already? Also going on to, as I was earlier pointing out, the Supreme Court seems to be taking a larger view of what really happened and what, the reaction to that statement has been.
Yes, absolutely. And Nupur, I also want to tell our viewers another important observation coming in from the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court says in a democracy, everyone has a right to speak. In a democracy, grass has a right to go and donkey has the right to eat. Supreme Court, are trying to get a sense of what